welcome everyone. Sorry, we're already most of the way through the draft now.
Reserve time.
Had some technical issues trying to get the stream up and running, but seems to be working fine now, not dropping any frames. Some background noise being picked up on the mic. Gone. Okay.
Dire team pick.
So.
Tidehunter.
The band's pretty
Radiant
standard in the
team
first
pick.
phase. The Enchantress, the Earth Spirits, the OD, the LD. The Ursa, an interesting first pickup. I've seen quite a bit of it at the major. Don't really know how much of an impact it's had. The Disruptive Void is a nice combo. They've picked up the Venge.
10 seconds remaining. 5
I
seconds
guess as
remaining.
much as that's as much of a deny pick as it is a counter
Reserve
specifically.
time. 10 seconds
Just so that
remaining.
UCL can't get it as a counter. UCL only have
5
sorry,
seconds
not UCL.
remaining.
They only had 5 seconds left Southampton, and they picked up the Luna, so they've got a Venge Luna Disruptor lane, so that's going to be a lot of right click damage. So Silencer support, not something we see too much. So we're just waiting for the players to grab the heroes, and we should be going.
Ten seconds remaining.
Okay, and we are in. This is game 1 of UCL versus
Prepare
Southampton.
for battle.
Qualifies for the Heritage 2. Over on the Dire side, this is UCL. We have Kin on Lion, Bear on Ursa, Placebo Effect on Invoker, Unknown Characters on Tidehunter, and Darien on the Silencer. Over on the Southampton side, we have Heisenberg on the Luna, Yison Iwu on the Vengeful Spirit, Xiao Dao on the Tiny Pang on Disruptor, and Owl on Faceless Void. Void has already walked all the way out top. He chose not to TP out.
30
Filled his
seconds
inventory
to
with
battle.
stuff. He wants to get a block somewhere. He's actually not going to go for the block at all. He's just going to go for the Observer Ward to look for ganks. Oh, he is going to go for the block afterwards with the Sentry. Bot lane. They're looking for a possible ward placed by the Dire. They didn't actually get out to place one yet. There are 2 sentries up on the Silencer,
The battle begins.
so there might be a little bit of a sentry battle here, but
What have we gained?
nothing breaks out in either lane so far. The Tiny, who is on his own mid apparently against the Invoker, gets one bounty whilst Invoker obviously gets the other. Wow, this is going to be a hard lane for the Tiny mid. I'll be impressed if this is even close to even. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. This bot lane, it's a dual lane with Tidehunter and Silencer right now. Silencer is obviously going to have a lot of harass. Tidehunter, once he gets a couple of levels up, should be able to avoid quite a lot of the damage through the Kraken Shell. But there's just going to be so much damage from these 3 heroes. I imagine the Venge might take the Aura a second, or the Howl, or whatever. The Luna will probably get the aura first, and then they'll just be doing so much right-click damage. The Disruptor as well. Got some great harass with the early Thunder Strike. Might take the kinetic field at level 1, just to hold someone in place whilst they get smacked on. Top lane Ursa versus Lion here. Does the time dilation go through BKB? Surely not. Well, for all the time that Ursa doesn't have BKB this game, it should be a pretty hard game for him, thanks to the Faceless Void. Time dilation. 3 spells to be slowed and delayed. The Earthshocker spell they'll want quite often as well. Potentially adding, I don't know how much, let's see, 12 seconds to the Rage cooldown. He's moving his laptop. Yep, that'll fix the lag. Lane's just about to meet him mid. Invoker obviously got the Exalt first, won't be able to Sunstrike somewhere. 100 damage, not negligible. Tiny with a whole 0 armor is going to get harassed very, very quickly by the Invoker. No Fairy Fires, just the 2 shared tangos and 2 branches. It's going to be a very, very hard time for Tiny unless he gets some support rotations. A little bit confused as to why there wasn't an aggressive tri-lane with these 3 heroes, but we'll see if they decide to change that up at some point. So now Invoker immediately gets a couple of right clicks out into the Tiny top lane. Void getting some harass from the bear. And the Lion would have time walk quite a bit of that damage away. Does need to be careful with the stuns and the Fury Swipe stacks, but New Void with the time walk shouldn't have too much trouble here. Tiny manages to find a CS and a couple of denies. Invoker now to invoke the Alacrity just to make this lane even easier for him, but Tiny actually doing fine so far. We'll see if that keeps up. Void managing to equal the harass with the Lion, but Lion obviously keeping the Void away from creeps pretty much constantly. Disruptor and the Avenger standing here at the side, but don't know what their plan is right now. Oh, and top lane! Void chases Lion all the way behind the tier 1. Once the creeps had already met and just punches him down, must have got the lucky bash. And that's not the kind of start that you want to give an offlaner when you're in that defensive dual lane. Void already level 3.
Get away,
Gonna look for a retaliation kill here, but not convinced that they're gonna find one. So regen rune sat bot. I don't know if anyone's actually going to move over to that. Tiny finds the bounty. Invoker is now starting to pull ahead in CS.
Denied.
This off lane duo, I'm wondering what the purpose of this is. I mean, they are. Oh, wow. Sunstrike finishes off the Void top. I wonder what the purpose of this dual lane is. They have managed to push Luna back a little bit, and the CS has kind of suffered. She's quite a long way behind where the Ursa is, but still not entirely sure what it is exactly that they want to achieve. We will have to glimpse back onto the Tide Hunter here. The silence is going to go out onto the Venge, but now the silence against glimpse back, and now they can probably turn on the Tide Hunter as well. They're doing a decent amount of damage. The stun comes out now, and will the right clicks be enough? Is it going to be another Luna thing, whatever it's called? Lucent Beam? No. Salve, I think, gets cancelled by a creep or a tower hit on someone there, so kind of unfortunate. Disruptor probably going to have to move back to base. But they find the kill onto the silencer. The most important thing for the Tide Hunter to be getting here is the levels, and the silencer being down here isn't gonna help with that much to the contrary. Still kind of confused about the silencer dual offlane decision. Lion being threatened by the Void. Has a jump. Well, actually get hexed halfway through his jump there, which doesn't cancel. So he just ends up being a fish or whatever it is over on the other side. Silencer is rotating now. Has moved to mid, but only has an illusion rune in level 2, so 1000 health of Tiny, not going to make particularly easy to chew through. Seems kind of unsure what he should be doing with himself right now. Seems to think he can't help in a top lane, which is probably true. I mean, he could get more harass out into the Void. The lane is generally in a position that's fairly favourable to him anyway. So Silencer does move back down and actually baits out a couple of spells, but they're going to have to glimpse back onto the actual hero anyway, so I think they're going to find the kill. Then one right click and the Lucent Beam will be enough. That was the TP coming down from the Lion, but he's not going to be able to help with this. Now it is the Void left on his own against the Ursa, so should have a perfectly nice time up here. Mid lane, Tiny left on his own. Invoker moved all the way back to base rather than trying to find some regen. Whoa, bot lane again. Luna is being threatened here. There's quite a bit of damage. The Sunstrike is completely wrong. Just goes into the trees where no hero can even go.
Is under attack.
Now a kinetic field up, trying to keep the silencer away, and Southampton get the kill on the line and get out bot. Invoker fat fingered the Sunstrike there, didn't quite get it where he wanted to go. Void approaching level 6. Not sure how much he will be able to make out the Chronosphere this early.
They'll never see this coming.
Maybe when the Luna gets the Eclipse up, which will be fairly soon as well. Could be a kill. Now there's an invisible disruptor with a clarity on him sitting around mid right now. Possible that Tiny will want to toss back, but there's a counter gang coming from the Lion, and they're just going to try and burst down the Invoker, and I think they will be able to do this. Now they're going to turn on the Lion as well, see if they can take this down. Silencer does come in. The last word should be enough to take out the Disruptor. For some reason he moves back up the hill, getting greedy, trying to chase down the Lion, but the toss doesn't quite do enough damage. Tiny doesn't stick around for the extra right click. I think he leveled Grow in the middle of that, so the attack speed did get slowed. Now Luna getting up in the Tide's phase. Tide has found 11 CS to this point, so not being completely shut down despite the super strong defensive tri lane. You have obviously got a couple of kills down here, but Tide Hunter survived it all. After that mid lane engagement, did end up just being a 1-for-1, but did force 2 other heroes back to base. So a lot of time wasted for UCL so far. Tied with the Iron Talon, so if he sees that the supports are back, he'll probably just want to move over and farm the off-lane large camp. Lion looking for a wraparound, but this is just not a kill they're going to be able to find at this point. Oh, actually, I take it all back. He found it straight away. Starts with the Hex and chains up into the level 3 Impale, and Ursa easily doing enough damage. Titan's not quite level 6. Maybe going down here. Do they have a glimpse? Oh, they've already used the glimpse, so they're not going to get the Tide kill. Luna wants to chase with the Eclipse. Could actually run under the tower with this if she wants to. And would almost certainly get a kill, but now with the Silencer moving in, the Eclipse is popped. Who's it going to hit on? It's split in between two, and I think this might be a double kill for the Luna. She'll die for it afterwards. The Sunstrike will connect this time, so it does end up being a double for the Luna, but does feed over this free 500 gold to the Invoker mid, and that actually finishes off his Midas, so questionable worth that play. Luna off the map for another 10 seconds.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Down here, Lion being left to find some levels top. Void won't have the damage to get a kill there on his own, and meanwhile Tiny once again combos up the Invoker. So Invoker, despite getting that Sunstrike kill and the one more in mid lane earlier, having the Midas is still going to hit twice. And now a dive point out mid lane. The combo not quite right onto Lion, but he'll die to the Disruptor Q. But now Ursa has arrived. I don't know if he'll be able to find any slows or anything onto the Tiny. Ursa's moving very, very fast with the phase boots. Tiny buys out his Blink Dagger just in case, but Ursa not going to be able to catch up. Invoker TP is in, but he's just here to farm. Meanwhile, top lane Void, a lane completely to himself for a little while.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But Luna left to farm as well.
Dire's top
Imagine
tower
we'll be seeing
is
the
under
Helm
attack.
build into stacking Ancients.
Dire's structures are
Now
fortified.
Ursa is going to smoke into Roshan after picking up the Mask of Madness, and he'll be able to take this very, very quickly. Silencer going to move in to try and help. Oof, Tiny very, very nearly gets a kill onto the Invoker there. Gets out just about with the Ghost Hook. There's double damage here outside the pit, but Ursa probably going to wait until the rush is down. Gets bashed a couple of times, and we'll be able to finish this.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
And now
Dire's top
double damage
tower is under
damage.
attack.
and the Aegis up on the Ursa. Mask of Madness. No mana for it right now, but still going to be able to do some significant damage to anybody that comes across. It's going to be very, very scary. 3 in the Fury swipes, 4 in the Overpower. Tiny's just going to go back to lane, maybe smoke out once more, and try and find a kill that way.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
No blink just yet. Void slowly chipping away at the top tower, but not getting too much done at the moment. He's found himself another
Dire's top
1,000 gold since the
tower
last
is
time I
under
looked at
attack.
him, but see what items he goes for. Generally see the Vlads first, but could also see the blink. Still kind of confused as to the role of the Void in this draft. Not really a great deal here to combo with. Like, ear spells going out, so now Tidehunter just pops the Ravage as soon as he gets glimpsed back. We'll be able to finish him up. The Sunstrike actually doesn't hit on anyone, and Lion gets the finger onto the Disruptor. Rest in peace, buddy. Venge is now here at the side, walks under the tier 2 tower, but now Luna pops the Eclipse. One of the beams goes onto a creep, but that's okay. Luna now stuck between 2 heroes, and the tier 1 tower should probably just be trying to run through the tower here, but will they actually find the Luna back here? No, there's nobody with a stun. Invoker was trying to get him with a cold snap, and meanwhile Ursa finds a kill onto the Void solo somehow top. I guess Void just not prepared for the damage there and the attack speed with the mask and the overpower, but Void somehow dies without getting off a Time Walk or even a Chronosphere to try and save himself.
Gains.
So Bear, interestingly,
Radiant's top
playing the
tower is
Ursa.
under attack.
Maybe we should have known. a pretty good position. Now finds level 11. He's leveling so fast. Now mid lane, Invoker doesn't get hit by the avalanche. Now Lion is stuck on the outside, on the other side of the static storm, and Silencer just gets glimpsed back bot. So he's got nothing to add here. They do commit quite a bit to that Invoker kill, the static storm, but other than that, it should be pretty happy. I think they wanted to catch the Lion. Tiny was aiming to get both with the avalanche. Does have the blink dagger, but
Dire's bottom
just
tower
about
is
missed
under
that.
attack.
Boy being forced away from the Ursa. Bot lane being pushed out by the Luna. Lots of pings to come and defend. We need more than just the Silencer. I'd say Silencer may be able to force the Luna back momentarily, but now more Radiant heroes coming in. Smoke is popped and they're going to try for a wraparound here. They'll find the Tide and the Silencer to do this right, and they're going to instantly walk into the Silencer. Unfortunately the toss doesn't go out on him, but Avenge is doing enough damage anyway. And now Ursa trying to find something. Oh, the glimpse into the other side of the map. Will he find Avenge first? No, he won't. Sunstrike goes in the wrong direction. There's no Ravage here. Oh, I'll take it back. There's a Ravage just cooled off right now. And now on the other side, Luna pops the Eclipse at the bottom of the hill, gets the Light, and then gets the Invoker afterwards. Now they'll be able to get the Tide Hunter as well. Ursa can't TP back. He's walking here through the mid lane, but he's just going to give up on this fight. Is there another glimpse? Not for another 10 seconds, and now it's time, I think, for the Radiant to get out of there. They did pretty nicely. I think they got 3 kills all in all. A 3 for basically nothing, and they even managed to waste a lot of the Ursa's time as well. Moved all the way back top and then ran that mid. Has the blink dagger as well now though. So they do need to be very, very careful about this Ursa.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now lots of heroes arrive, but another glimpse back. This is the 3rd or 4th one I've seen this game from Disruptor. UCL not learning that this is Disruptor's favourite trick. Oh, so funny. Now, Time Walk away from the Void. There is a Ravage up on the Tide Hunter, but he's not going for the Blink Dagger. He's going for a hybrid of loads of different items. Tiny is going to take mid. Tier 1 in this time, and now a Chronosphere goes out. Hits 2, the Static Storm hits onto 2 as well, and the Ursa disoriented by the swaps here. Oh, the Aegis times out at a very, very bad time. I don't know if Ursa has noticed that this has happened. He's trying to run back in to find something, but if he gets hit by the Lucid Beam, he goes down. Now the Finger at the other side manages to take out the Void, but this is such a bad result for UCL. They do manage to get the tower deny right at the end, but my god, I don't think Ursa realised that the Aegis ran out during all that, and the Chronosphere and Static Storm managed to take people down very, very quickly in that. 3 kills the way of Southampton to just 1. UCL. Tiny, 2,000 more gold in the inventory, up to level 11. Seems like they know he's up here. Silencer draws a line. Silencer still no global sounds. That could have made such a huge difference in that last fight, but Silencer somehow not managing to find any XP anywhere. It seems like he's been level 5 for a very, very long time. Needs to find somewhere to hang out in. Maybe near the Ursa whilst he's farming some jungle stacks or something. Luna now has gone for the drum and either going for the BKB or the SMY. I guess could be tempted by going straight into the BKB here. Luna very scared that she can't see anyone on the map right now. Radiant vision pretty lacking. Does see one top. That was the Lion, but other than that, going to be forced back into her jungle. Doesn't want to spend too much time in lane. And now, smoke comes out. Blink forwards by the Ursa. Stops attacking momentarily, but will still do plenty of damage. But now the Static Storm on top of the Ursa is just going to be going down in no time at all. No enrage for that because he used it for the kill, and will they be able to find the Lion as well? Do they have a glimpse for this? They can see where the Lion is. Well, they're hoping to find another target. Oh, Tiny catches up to the line. The global sounds finally comes out for the first time this game from the sounds. Tiny taking an awful lot of damage here. Will get this on by the Invoker, pushed back, and will be going down here. And now the Ravage does hit onto, I think, 3 there. He managed to finish off the Tiny at the top at last, but
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Kinetic Field trying to keep everyone else away. I don't think they will be able to find the Luna here. Disappointing fight. Southampton, I imagine. Big gold swing, double kill there, and a streak for the Invoker, I think.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Ty's going to be farming for something, unclear as to what. Now mid lane, another Chronosphere goes down to the Invoker. He's not actually taking that much damage. Luna is going to need another Q here. Do they have any detection? Oh, they put down a sentry under the tower, and Luna will find the Lucent Beam. Ends the Invoker's killing spree, so making up for that last fight a little bit there. Void, no Chrono now though, committed it just for the one kill. And Lion going to want to go for the finger here, but needs to be careful of the Void getting a time walk away. The drum is popped by the Luna, and they're trying to chase down the Tide Hunter. They will get it. Void following the Lion, but won't have quite enough. Was a glimpse available there, but Disruptor not spending their glimpses so much for these post-fight pickoffs, and mostly just for sending people back to base so far.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now, this
middle tower is under
tier 2 mid, unlikely to be defended. There's no Ravage even if the Titan was alive, so.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Invoker has the Yules and casual bracer here. Gone for the treads, which I don't feel like you see very much. I imagine people on the phase or the travels usually, but whatever. Now, Radiant side, going to be looking to push these last outer towers. One tier 1 still standing within deny range here, but no one's moved in for it. It's just going to die to the creeps unless someone goes up for it now. Tiny will find it. Thinking about a defense. Ursa, Sansa and Lion are up here. Tide is just moving down, gets D-ward, but isn't even here to farm. What is this Tide going for? He's picked up Arcane Boot since the last time I looked at him. Is that the difference? But Tide, it's going to be a long, long time until he finds any proper items. Not finishing the mech, not finishing the drums, not going for a Blink Dagger. But meanwhile, Tiny now has an axe. So we'll just be able to smash down these towers. Now blinks forwards onto the Silencer, who is trying to get the D-ward. Will he do enough damage? Yes, he will. The toss is enough, and now the Chronosphere goes out onto 2. Tiny might actually be able to reach in there, and yes he can. He can stand at the edge and attack into the Chronosphere. Disruptor threw in the Static Storm inside, and a nice, well-deserved double kill, and there's nobody here to defend this tower anymore. Ursa all the way down here in the bottom lane, maybe going to try and take this tier 1 in exchange and then go for Roshan afterwards, but Tiny is going to chew through this tower pretty fast. Luna is in fact moving down to try and defend against the Ursa. Does need to be kind of careful of him here. Does have the Enrage. Luna does have the BKB now though, and the Eclipse is ready. The top, as expected, goes down with no contest.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
So going to find another DD and
Double
take
damage.
Rush very, very quickly with that. Feeling uncomfortable about it though, not knowing where there's any vision from the Radiant. Little does he know that the only Radiant vision is up in the Dire jungle right now, and they're going to try and find a jump onto the Void here. A silence goes off onto him, but
Dire's
nothing else.
Is under attack.
He manages to time walk away.
Haste.
Silence are extremely, extremely poor. Half the net worth of the Lion, who is the other closest in the game. Benj can't actually, the sentry doesn't see up to the high ground. Tide farming in here for something. Tide just had very, very little impact. There have been a couple of Ravagers that have hit 2 or 3, but there's been nothing where he's been able to initiate or kind of do anything particularly convincing. Now only one outer tower left for UCL.
Dire's bottom tower.
You can see how many people are lingering around the Roshan pit and the Dire Ancients right now. But now Blink mid lane onto the Ursa. They've done quite a lot of damage to him before the Enrage comes out, but now Stun goes out. I think he got, oh god, craggy exterior there. The Global Silence gets used. Tiny gets hit by the Finger and the Sunstrike, but he's still living to tell the tale, but not any longer. Ravage gets committed just to take out the Tiny there, but Tiny is a big source of the damage. Now BKB in the middle of the fight. Beam's only really hitting one right now. Does manage to finish off the Lion at the top of the hill. Will they be able to get the Tide? He had the negative urn charge. Now the Chronosphere goes out onto one ally and 2 enemies. Double kill for the Luna. Invoker went down in that as well. Tide very, very close to being killed, and immediate buyback from Invoker. I don't really know what he plans to do here. I expect that he was thinking that they're just going to go straight for the high ground, but everyone on the Radiant alive now that the Tiny's here, and they're just going to go for the Roshan, and I'm not sure they're going to have enough to stop this. Ursa is moving over. Invoker, what spells does he have? His Meatball is still on cooldown, and that's going to be his best defense for this, or his best chance at getting rid of these heroes. Ursa just blinks straight in, gets glimpsed back out. A little bit of miscommunication there. Disruptor trying to get him away and save his allies, but his allies were like, whoa guys, free kill. So the Ursa does get out, and the Rosh very, very low. Ravage unavailable. Tide Hunter 60 seconds till that comes out, and Ursa trying to get the Luna, doing a lot of damage, gets swapped away, but will manage to get one last right click. Invoker picks up that kill, and now the Meatball is rolling through too. Tiny taking a lot of damage, moving very, very slowly, being kited on the other side of the fight. Benj and Disruptor battling it out with the Lion, who's already used the Finger on something. Void will be going down. Negative urn charge affecting the Lion, but gets a really good double stun onto the Venge and the Disruptor, and what a terrible, disastrous fight for the Radiant. Oh no, and Tiny throws the Bear away at the neutral creeps, doesn't even manage to get the dieback onto the Invoker, and now the Roshan will be going the way of the Dire. The UCL just completely owned that fight, and almost entirely thanks to miscommunication really from the Radiant. They could have just taken out that Ursa right at the start. Instead, gets glimpsed back, gets saved. Oh, Roshan takes out the Invoker there. I don't know why he went so close. So, he won't be able to come back for another 60 seconds, but now Ursa, as the Aegis, almost goes down to Ancients there. Woo! So, with the Aegis now, I don't know if they'll want to go for a smoke and try and find someone in the jungle. I don't know whether they'll just want to start barreling down some lanes, because most of the, or probably all of the gold advantage now, about 6k, is in these 5 outer towers that the Radiant have taken away from the Dire. And once the Dire find those towers,
Dire's bottom tower has
on the Radiant side, that net worth graph is going to turn out pretty much even despite the 10 kill lead for the Radiant. Lion gets a deny onto the tier 2, so a little bit of gold denied. UCL going to be pretty hemmed in to their base. If they end up in a fight which isn't all 5 of them being there, it's going to be pretty much impossible for anyone else to turn up.
Money.
Lion has the Blink Dagger now after that. level 2 finger available, and he does get the stun off onto the Luna. Gonna follow up with the Hex, and now Tidehunter goes onto the other side. I think hits 4 with that Ravage, and oh dear, this has gone very, very wrong. Luna doesn't get the BKB off in time and just gets locked down by the Lion and then the Tidehunter, and my god, what a terrible turn of events. 9 kills in a row now with no answer. The Dire absolutely on the roll. And now going to try and take down some of these towers as fast as possible. Maybe also mow down the mid tier 1. Could go for tier 2 as well. Something just came out on that hideous Venomancer Courier, and now the mech and the Blink Dagger up on the Tidehunter after these fights. It seemed like he was very behind, but just manages to walk through the Static Storm during all that. Unfortunately, no kinetic field down. I don't really know what happened with the Disruptor there. It's a TP coming in at the front. Someone gets swapped there. I don't really know what happened, but now Tidehunter getting focused down pretty fast. Doesn't have the Ravage. It's going to get cleaved down by the Tiny here. Takes 1 swipe, 2 more. Almost got in the Disruptor. Gets the Silencer and gets the double kill as well with that Q. So the Dire do get 2 towers, but they lose the Tide and the Silencer for it. Everyone else does manage to make a clean escape, and Ursa even still has the Aegis and now the 10-second BKB. So the Radiant feeling a little bit in control. Probably going to want to go for a push here. Do need to be very, very careful against the Ursa. Lion, they've seen that he's TPing back because the creeps are following him.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Not for another 20.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Ravage 35. Radiant just going to work on the tower. Now, the first stun actually goes out onto 2, and immediately there's not going to be any Chronosphere for this fight. Somehow, Disruptor ends up in all kinds of the wrong places, and Tiny going to be taken down. The Ursa absolutely destroying the Radiant team. They won't be able to find the Luna at the end, but what an absolute mess that fight was, and another 4-man. 4 down, the Radiant. And Lion making the big plays here. Got the blink into the Earth Spike. Hit the Void and the Tiny with that, and the Void had already tanked so much tower damage that he just died immediately to the finger, and without that Chronosphere to try and control the Ursa, he just walked around with the BKB and completely destroyed
Radiant's middle tower
the majority of the heroes on the Southampton side, and still even has the Aegis. Don't know how much time is left on that, so that's just about to time out. Oh, and now it does time out. Chronosphere comes, but a blink in by the Tidehunter gets the counter Ravage. The global silence is up, but the Eclipse has already come out. Ursa very nearly dead. Only needs 1 more hit to go down. Invoker takes down the tower, but now 3 caught in the kinetic field here, and now the Static Storm on top. Avalanche into 2. Oh, all of them survive for now. Lion going to turn around for another stun, gets another 2 with that Invoker. Is he actually going to get away from this? Blink away from the Invoker, blink away from the Lion. Silencer turns around, tries to get the slow. Are they actually going to find no one here? This is ridiculous. Silencer wants to get the kill. Will give his life up for it. And I'm not even sure, you know, whose fault that was on the Radiant. That last bit of that fight went so clowny. I think Tiny moved into the middle of the 3 heroes and wasn't getting the full cleave damage out. The Invoker did use himself during that, but just not really any, I don't know, like discipline, I guess, from the Southampton side. Lost 2 very easy kills there and gave up a hero unnecessarily. They lost to tier 3, they did defend the racks. Ursa, for the 2nd time this game, happened with the first Aegis and happened with this one as well. Times out just as he's going into the fight. Then he just dies for it, seemingly without realising. both teams spending a little bit of time in the jungle now, but line is drawn by the Invoker. They want to move through the jungle and find someone. They don't have too much vision of this. They've seen that the Luna has moved down here, so they're hoping to find her in the jungle, but no smoke on anyone right now. Just trying to push out the lane. I guess they just want to take these towers, but Sounds are very far forward. Will he get swapped in or anything? Yes, he will, and he's going to be going down very, very quickly. No chance for global silence. I think maybe he raised his hand to cast it there, but got interrupted by the Venge, and now the silencer does buy back in case the global silence is needed. They're really trying very hard to disengage here. Invoker here at the side with the Ghost Walk. Top tower goes down in the meantime, so the Dire, not a total loss for them, but just being able to disengage there I think was
double damage.
Nice enough, but they are going to try again. The Radiant not expecting this after they lost the silencer the first time. The kinetic field goes out into the Invoker. Can they see him? If they got a glimpse, they didn't put a Q on in there. Now the global silence goes out. The BKB already popped by a Luna, but Ursa following through. Gonna try and turn on the Venge instead. Blinks away, and now the Static Storm not really hitting onto anybody. A complete whiff there. Now Invoker gets the combo onto two. Gets the Chronosphere over onto the Invoker. Tide has gone down on the other side, and now Invoker pretty much isolated. Oh, tell me they've got some detection. Invoker manages to get out with the Ghost Walk again. Oh no, Invoker is bringing people towards the Ursa. Luna gets the kill onto the Invoker, and that looked, the start of that fight, I was kind of speechless in the middle of that because I didn't really understand what had happened. The Ursa, I think, was chasing down the Luna, had a few stacks of the Fury swipes up onto him, and then blinked backwards and away to try and take down the Tiny.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Kind of confused by that, but mid is taking a lot of damage right now, but they're just going to move. They're going to ignore their own wrecks. The creeps can defend for a little while, and they're going to try and find a racks of their own. Their mid-range is going to start taking damage, but now the Manta style coming out. Ursa, even through the Enrage, taking a lot of damage. Vicious Void manages to Time Walk away. Bear buys back. Lion buys back. Invoker doesn't have a buyback, not up for another 10 seconds. Ursa blinks in, gets stunned up, but manages to finish off the bench and walk away. Tiny has just popped the BKB and he's trying to work his way through the remainder of the racks and does manage to get it. Disruptor back at mid lane trying to get the defend here, and oh, Tide slowed so much. Another Enrage up. Oh no, Tide Hunter is going to get the Ravage here. Oh, he actually doesn't have it. I don't even remember him using it in that fight. Tornado does hit up onto two. Invoker gets a nice little combo here. Oh, and whoa, will get hexed. Tiny taken down, and oh, lockdown here from the Lion. Lion has just done so much work this game. So Dire lose their mid-racks, get a fantastic fight where they get everyone afterwards. And that fight, just the complete opposite of what happened before. Previous fight, Ursa just couldn't seem to find a target. Invoker came in from the other side, there was just kind of no unification, but this fight, UCL just moved from hero to hero to hero. Lion blinking all over the place and stunning everyone at perfect moments. Now Ro16 going to be taken down once more. This is going to be a cheese available for the Dire, but the Radiant, they're not getting nothing out of this. They're not being forced to buy back, which is kind of maybe what the Dire should have hoped to achieve there. Would have probably liked to have seen them go mid and either take the racks off or to buyback during all that, but don't find the time. Instead, take the Roshan here to defend top. Invoker picks up the Aegis this time and now has the travels, so Invoker very, very fond as the Luna is right now.
From the tempest of battle.
Lion with the 4-staff and the Ether Lens, the potential for the big plays from the Lion here. Has died 10 times, but 7 kills and 17 assists. Lion probably being the key part of the UCL team here, kind of holding them together. Top lane, they're eyeing up the Invoker, but obviously does have the Aegis. Circle is drawn by Silencer, showing exactly where the Radiants are and are going to go. Invoker, as soon as he walks out, the Void appears up there. Is the Blink Dagger available on the Void now, and we'll be going for an Aghanim Scepter, so pretty much the standard build up on the Void here. Chronosphere has been, I don't know, not all perfect this game. There have been a couple of kind of messy ones in the middle of the fights where I think Luna walked into one at one point, another one trapped in Avenge like underneath a meatball earlier. Tiny pushing out the spot lane, has 3,000 gold right now. Won't be able to TP out of here, but I think is aware that there is somebody from the Dire side coming. They think that smoke is going to be mid lane, but Tiny not taking the risk that it isn't bot. The smoke going to be timing out just about now. And a nice little escape there from the Radiant. Don't lose anyone to that smoke. Invoker desperately trying to find someone. Draw a line up into their jungle, thinking that that's where the Radiant must be. And basically nothing goes down. Now they look for a counter gank. The two smokes.
Dire's middle
So
tower
clowny,
is
and
under
in all
attack.
this time, tier 4s being damaged. So about half damage onto one of the tier 4s there. Luna just going to take this time to steal the Dire Ancients. Not going to be a Roshan obviously for a long time yet. Invoker still has the Aegis. Farm accruing quite rapidly for the Tiny and the Luna. Going to be going for the Butterfly next. Can actually buy that out now. She doesn't want to have buyback, although I do imagine that Luna will want to save. Now blink forwards from the Void. Boy oh boy, that's very, very daring. We'll have the one to try and heal up some of this damage, but pops it, but the Ravage hits on the other side, and now Luna moves in with the Eclipse and just has to back away from the Ursa, so the Eclipse pretty much completely wasted. Ursa still has the BKB on for a second. Another Static Storm which actually hits onto no one. Tiny is trying to find the target but gets hexed up at the end of his BKB. Disruptor has got absolutely no way at all to help, and now Ursa is just going to start running people down. A nice swap from Venge, saves herself and brings the Luna back to the top of the hill, potentially into harm's way, but they do manage to get out, and now Disruptor going to be caught as well. The tower, I think, at the end does take out the Aegis, and now at the other side, Ursa does actually manage to chase down the Venge. And I don't know what the goal of some of these ults has been. It seems like there's been a couple of panic ults. The Disruptor, Static Storm, and the Eclipse just seem to go out because, oh no, there's a fight, I need to do something, I need to use my spells, but none of those spells actually did anything. Static Storm hit no one. Eclipse, Luna just too scared of the Ursa, had to run away. I don't know if she would have necessarily died that quickly, but
Radiant's top tower
gets
is under
defeated in
attack.
slump the Invoker and does nothing, and now the Dire feeling pretty comfortable. Gonna get the top
Radiant's top tower
tier
has
2,
fallen.
and even though they're a lane of racks down,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has
kind of
fallen.
in control of this game at this stage. The momentum is in their favour, and as long as they can find something else to do in the next, I don't know, minute or two. Might be able to find a lane of racks of their own. Mid lane is obviously going to keep pushing towards the Dire base.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And now, Lion, the global sounds comes out, but the BKB has already been popped by the Luna. There's not going to be any blitz for another second now. BKB popped by the Ursa, but he's not really managed to do that much during it. Oh, gets the bash onto the Venge, and now Ursa going to be going down very, very quickly. The Ravage comes in at the end. Silencer gets the kill onto the Tiny, but look at how much damage this Luna is doing. But will she actually be able to do enough here? The Invoker is here at the back. He's going to have like a Cold Snap or something to invoke, but doesn't even need it. Silencer doing huge, huge damage. Didn't realise, but he's got 48 stolen intelligence. All these team fights. And now, the Luna and the Tiny both have the buyback. Disruptor will use his as well, just to make sure nothing in the base goes down. And 3 buybacks committed. That will force the Dire back, but
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
my oh my.
Coin for me.
Luna has the butterfly available. I think she probably did have that in the last fight. Now I think the Radiant need to find more out of the ults than they have been doing so far. The main one I think being the Chronosphere. The Chronosphere has been super, super lackluster every single fight. Ursa basically allowed to run around with the Enrage, with the BKB, get a couple of kills in the duration of that, often onto the Void himself. And all that time really, or some of that time, he should be in a Chronosphere. It's up at level 3 so I can keep the Ursa in there for 5 seconds. Oh, Ursa, at the other side, I think accidentally pops a BKB there when looking for the Blink Dagger. So now the Ursa BKB will be down to 5 seconds. I think that was the 6-second charge. Tiny, the AC sadly delayed. I don't know what the Radiant Courier is doing all the way over here. Now Invoker trying to come around from behind, and they'll see the... Oh, they don't see any footsteps. I thought they were going to catch the Invoker there, but Invoker pops his head out of the trees. Oh god, everyone's here, and just backs straight back out. Will be perfectly fine. Invoker, I imagine, going for a Scythe next. Sunstrike into the pit to check if the Roshan has respawned, but will be a fairly long one. Both teams just kind of wandering around, finding little bits of farm here and there, but in general not achieving very much. Invoker though, 5k in his pocket. That's buyback plus 3k now, so that is enough for the Scythe and buyback. Smokes picked up by both sides, one by the Disruptor and one by the Silencer simultaneously. Ward vision lacking, map looking pretty dreary for both sides. Neither side decided to pick up a gem in all this time. And the vision generally being more in favour of the Dire. They did just see all of the Radiant team move through their jungle. And now we'll see them moving back. Radiant, I don't know what they're doing right now. sitting around waiting for the smoke to come out, but the smoke goes and it's immediately popped, and now a Ravage goes out onto all 5, if not for the BKBs. Now Lion gets burst down by the Tiny at the beginning. The Ursa has already taken out the Venge, and now it's the 1v1, the Luna, but oh, it's not a 1v1. Tiny comes in from the side. The Eclipse does manage to take out the Bear. Silencer doing his mountains of damage in the side though. Even ploughing through the Tiny quite fast. He's stuck in the ice wall or whatever it's called, and just everyone being kited all the way through. The cold snap goes out. And now triple kill on the Silencer. My god. Once again, mid towers take some damage during that, but Silencer kind of turning into one of the main carries despite being probably the position 5 supporting Fury this game. I said that neither team had picked up the gem. It turned out that the Dire had, and it's on the Silencer. My god, the start of that fight looked like it was going the way of the Radiant, but once the BKBs were down, the Tiny and the Luna just a little bit too close together and couldn't find any way to get out of the ice wall. Not really sure why the Silencer and the Evoker are going for the tier 3 tower bot rather than the Rax mid lane right now, but Venge and the Void are apparently enough to scare the Invoker and the Silencer away. I think Invoker maybe trying to bait out a Chronosphere here, but where? What's going on? Okay, so Void does find the Chronosphere onto the Invoker and they will be able to take him down. Disruptor has arrived with the Static Storm. Does walk into the Chrono, but it's not going to matter, and now the Invoker and the Silencer stayed for way too long. I think the Invoker was hoping that the Void was going to blink in, so then the Invoker could blink out and dodge the Chrono, but started with a swap. Tornado didn't achieve very much, and then both heroes stood within Chronosphere range of each other, within Chronosphere diameter of each other, and both get taken out. Killing spree and unstoppable streak ended. Only the Invoker with buyback, so if there's a fight in the next 35 seconds, it's not going to be a global silence available. Now the Radiant going to look for a D-Ward, don't actually finish it because they see the Ursa who gets the BKB off. Will Disrupt to be able to do anything to save himself here. The Glimmer cape up, but is there any detection here? Yes, sentry down somewhere. Ursa chasing down. The Void wants to take him out before there's another Chronosphere, wants to get the gem back. Double kill for the Invoker. Luna focusing everything on the Tidehunter, but he's just so tanky. Has the Guardian Greaves, has the Refresher even, so has another Ravage if he wants to use it. Tiny, I don't know if he wasn't in that fight in the first place or what, but now Refresher also picked up by the ridiculously rich Silencer. We'll have the double global. Void and Disruptor both forced to buy back. They want to try and catch the Tidehunter here. He's taking a lot of damage. Will they be able to kill him before the second Ravage? No, they can't. And now Ursa blinks in on top of the Tiny. He's being hit by the cold snap. Tiny just gets to walk away. The first global sounds, or the second, sorry, global sounds comes out, I think. And now Chronosphere. Oh no, Disruptor was forced staffing forwards there, so gets caught in the side. Can't get the combo in, but at the end it doesn't matter in Invoker. That's actually a dieback from him. So he's not going to be able to come out. Is there going to be a bash? Oh, there's a swap to the bottom of the hill. So Silencer, blink afterwards by Tiny, and that. It looked really good with the double Ravage, the double global silence. It seemed like everything was going right, but the Disruptor buyback, and I think the Tiny was the other one, and now it looks like the looks like UCL are just going to straight up lose. I don't think there's anything they can do to stop this. Nice attempt. Ravaged by the Lion, and now Ursa pops the BKB, trying to do as much as he can, but doesn't pop the Immersion until right at the end, and will go down to all the right-click damage from the Tiny and the Luna, down for 120 seconds. Guardian Greaves up on the Tidehunter, but Tiny and Luna are both just going to take down the Ancient here. Tidehunter blinks in, trying to buy some time, but it's not going to be enough. Sweet baby Jesus, what a weird game. I don't know what the graphs look like. Yeah, swinging wildly between the two sides. Just huge team fights going each way there. But in the end, a couple of misplays. The Invoker and the Silencer die with no buyback. Ursa unable to find enough control to kill people on his own, and the Luna and the Tiny very quickly take out the base.